Hello everybody, it's Tanya from Dolly Days Nursery, and today is Tag Tuesday. Okay, so I have little Jack here, and he is going to keep me company while I do this tag. I was going to change him, but I think I'm going to leave him in this little outfit for a little bit. The tag that I have chosen is... I was almost going to read the wrong one. It's a tag that I found on Krystle's YouTube channel, and it's Krystle's YouTube channel is Life with Krystle. She's a fellow Canadian, and this is a 10-question tag. Hopefully, I won't get into a coughing fit like I just had, but we shall see how it goes. I may have to pause from time to time, hopefully not too much. But anyway, this is a 10-question tag, and the first one is, what was the first time you saw or heard of reborns? When? And was it creepy or fascinating? Well, the first time I saw reborns, or heard of them even, was in 2016. At that time, I was searching the internet mostly for Ashton Drake dolls, because that is what I was familiar with. And I was looking for a doll that would be suitable to have as a memorial baby for my daughter. And that's when all my grieving was so very fresh in my mind. And I did get the doll that I was looking for at the time from Ashton Drake, but on the tail end of searching for dolls, I found reborns. And I found one of the shops on Etsy, and it was I don't think at the time there were any dolls to look at, or if there were, they were already sold or something like that. But I found Studios of Renee Mack, and she was listed as Manitoba, Canada. And I spent quite a bit of time in Manitoba. I did 2 years of university there, and I also went back a few more times doing more courses. And lo and behold, when I contacted her, she was actually in Winnipeg, which is where I lived for 2 years straight. And I immediately, right from the get-go, was fascinated. Like, totally fascinated. And, of course, being the price that they are, I couldn't, or I didn't feel like I could just go straight on and order one. So I started showing my husband. Now, he knew that I was a doll collector and a doll lover. So his answer to my do you think it's possible that I could order one of these? Was absolutely, you do it. So, mind you, at that time, he probably would have told me to go personally and pick it up if he thought that it would help me in my emotional state. But that's when and what I thought of the reborns. Now, the second question is, was your first doll boy or girl, and why? Well, in the video, Krystle kind of struggles with, does that mean the first doll ever, or does it mean the first reborn? I'm just going to go right here and say, was your first reborn doll boy or girl, because that is what we're talking about. So, my first reborn was a boy, and that boy was Ethan, which I now have up for adoption. And why? Well, it's basically twofold. Because I had never ever had a boy baby before. And the other part is because I didn't want family and friends to think that I was trying to replace my daughter with a reborn doll. I didn't want them to think that I was like losing all touch of reality and gonna like start pretending that this reborn is my actual baby. So I guess that's kind of why I went with boy. But mostly because I had never ever had a boy doll in my life. Like growing up, every doll was always a girl. So, third question. Are daily themes important to you to determine what you will record or watch? Now, recently, I have begun a schedule. So, daily themes really has never been something that determined what I would record or what I would watch on YouTube. Right now, my daily schedule that I have drawn up is basically on a theme outline. So it's kind of determining, of course, what I choose to record. But it certainly does not determine what I'm going to watch. I do watch theme videos. I do enjoy seeing the Theme Thursday or whatever videos and see how people interact with those themes and how they, what their perception of what a certain theme is in their nursery. And I have occasionally done a theme video as well for like Theme Thursday, but it doesn't determine that I'm going to watch that kind of video. I pretty much, watch what videos I like, especially if it piques my interest. And I definitely watch some YouTubers on a regular basis, so they get my attention regardless of what the topic is that they are doing for their video, any day at all. So, number 4 is, what other non-reborn related YouTube channels do you watch? And I watch some different ones. I'm not subscribed to all the channels that I watch. But of course, with the algorithms and everything online, certain ones will keep coming up in my feed. So I keep watching them. But as for reborn related YouTube channels. I'm really hooked on watching these YouTube building sites. There's a guy and his brother, they both do videos. And like they it's almost like a tutorial, really, on how to, for example, make a thumbnail for your video. So last night I just watched that, and so I'm working on that. You might have noticed that I have like 2 videos there now with a little thumbnail, and instead of just, you know, some area of the video is captured there. Excuse me. And so the main guy that I watch, his channel is Nick, is it Neiman? Nimmin. And his brother, I didn't know about until last night when I was watching some videos, and he said if you're trying to do this on your cell phone, then you need to watch the video that my brother just did. So then I headed over to his channel. And he is Dee, Neiman, Nimmin. So I watch both of those. They give out some really good tips and techniques and good advice on things that we should be doing to help our YouTube channel grow. And I've only just caught on to this one, so I haven't put a whole lot into motion, but that is actually where I got my idea to have this schedule all drawn up. So, you know, for example, about making it known to your viewers when you're going to be on, so they're not waiting like 2 weeks to see you. If you can only make a video once every 2 weeks, then tell your viewers, I'll be back in 2 weeks' time, you know, or even if it was monthly, 1 day a month or something, or if it were 3 days a week. Okay, so guys, I'm going to be, you know, putting up a video on Sunday, Wednesday, and Friday. And that be every single week, so you stick to that. So unfortunately, I've had a few days now where something has come up and, you know, interrupted my schedule. Mainly, you know, a death in my family or illness. So those 2 things, of course, obviously, life happens. But that's, so 2, that's 2 channels, non-reborn related. Another channel that I've been watching, I'm kind of slacking off on now, but at one point it was kind of helpful to a situation. So I started watching it, and it's called Fathering Autism, and it got my attention because our nephew is autistic, but certainly, you know, he's high function, so, you know, he's actually got a job right now, so we're pretty excited for him on that, and I'm sure he's pretty excited about it. But there were other people in our area that has an autistic child that is very challenging elements of their spectrum. So when I saw that, somewhere along the way it came up on my screen, and I clicked it, and so I really took a liking to that one. And tutorials or life hacks, different things, they just obviously just, you know, randomly come up through my feed, and sometimes I click them and look at them, and of course then, like I said, algorithm, yeah, it just keeps pinging into my feed, but usually ones that I really enjoy. So you know, I'm a crafter, I like making things, and whether it's, you know, crafts or baking or different things. So I like tutorials. So I don't watch only tutorials for reborning. I do watch tutorials of those. And what was I just going to say? There was something else that sometimes comes up through the feed. Like, you ever see these videos that come up, and it may be someone sitting in the street and they're painting. Like, there was one guy, and he was painting with his fingers, and it was like on mirror or glass or something, and they just fascinate me. Well, I love painting too, so I guess that's just another reason why I took a liking to it. But different little videos like that they pop up, and you're like totally amazed. Then I end up saying, oh my gosh, Chris, you have to watch this one, because this is amazing. You won't even realize. And there was another guy that was doing a painting, and he finished it. It was like on I don't know if it was plywood or what it was, but it was a huge piece. And he finished painting, so I thought, and I'm still looking at it wondering what it is, but then he goes over to it and he flips it upside down, and then you could see the picture, like the face, the features of a person, and I was like, what? He did that upside down? So those, really grabbed my attention. Just a few non-reborn related YouTube channels. So, number 5. Do you have more custom reborns or already made dolls in your collection? Well, let me look around the nursery here. Well, I only have 2 reborns that I actually purchased ready-made. Not ready-made. That's a lie. I have one that I purchased, which was a custom, and of course that's my very first reborn. The Larry by Natalie Blick, which I have up for sale, up for adoption. That was my Ethan. And already made that I purchased, that was being advertised as being up for adoption, is the Lexi kit that was reborned by Delightful Reborns. So that leaves me with, I have Ruthie Nan is the first one I ever made. Darcy is the Caleb kit that I made as a preemie. Little Smile is up for adoption, and he was the contest baby I made for Rose Doll Show. Rosie is my baby. She I made to take with me to the Rose Doll Show. Abigail is my memorial portrait baby of my daughter. And Jack is, I'm starting to wonder if he is the portrait of my nephew. I did find a couple of photos, and his mouth is totally different. But yet, my mother and my brother, the father of my nephew, both see it right away. So I have to dig for some more photos. So that gives me, I mean, if I made them myself, obviously they have to be custom. They weren't ready-made, bought from someone else. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 custom and 1 ready-made. And Lexi is also up for adoption. So, number 6, what was the first YouTube channel you subbed to, and are you still subbed? I have 3 channels that I'm not sure who I subscribed to first. And I am still subscribed to them. I know I know it was either Miracle Baby's nursery, which is Annette in Australia, or I'm not sure. I think it was Miracle Baby's nursery, actually. And next to her would be the Creative Newborns, which is Jen Lynn from Creative Newborns. I think she's in Ohio. And then Stephanie Ortiz with In Love with Reborns, 2011. And I'm still subscribed to all three of them. So, I really think it was Miracle Baby's nursery though, and it really encouraged me with my painting, and I chatted with her a long time on Facebook before I even started reborning. And so number 7 number 7 is, are you the only one in your family to collect dolls? And my answer is no. I am not the only one in my family to collect dolls. My mom has a collection of porcelain dolls. Now her collection started long after mine, but my dad started giving her porcelain dolls, and so she's got a nice few now. But she has always been a doll lover, and like me, she was well up into her teens and still loving her dolls and playing with her dolls. And she've often said that, like, she always dreaded the time to come that I would stop playing with dolls. And guess what? It didn't happen. So I guess that must really please her. But now, first when I started with the reborns, she did find them a little bit creepy. Not creepy, unsettling. Because when she saw Ethan the first time, and his eyes looked so watery and a little bit red around, like she said, he just looks like he's been crying. And so that she always found it hard to look at him because he looked so real. And then when I got a few more reborns, all she would say is, she'd shake her head and she'd say, too real, too real. And she'd put up her hand, too real. She couldn't look at them. But once I started making them, and I guess, well, at the time I was living with my parents when we were transitioning from one place to the other, and we lived with them for a year, and I started reborning, and she started seeing the process and the work that went into it. Well, she's a lover now of the reborns, and she would be the first one to, say to someone, have you seen those babies that Tanya makes? And she'll tell them to go on Facebook and see them or whatever, but she's a good supporter now. So, yeah, no, she always loved her dolls. And my grandmother had a few dolls, but my great aunt. I have to think about that because there's so many great. My great aunt is the one that I often talk about, who I know would be so proud and so interested in the reborn dolls if she were still alive. Her house is not very far from where I live, and of course it's been years now since she moved away, and of course even years since she's passed, but she had a house full of dolls. And it was fascinating. As I grew up, once I was old enough to walk the road by myself without an adult, I would almost daily visit her house. And she would welcome me in the same as she did every single time and give me the tour. And she loved the dolls. And she's the one who did doll shows that as a child, I may have only been, oh my gosh, maybe 5 or 6 years old, attending these doll shows. And she would encourage girls to bring their dolls and display them kind of like a pageant. And of course, there would be a prize for the prettiest doll and different things, the prettiest outfit, or different, all kinds of categories. And she would have all her dolls on display, and it was such a wonderful time. And I think of her now because she really influenced me. But her dolls, her dolls were just ordinary play dolls, walking dolls. They were probably more plastic than vinyl. And she would remake them. Either she would give them a new head of hair, and believe me, I wish I had time now to go back and ask her or to spend time with her in doing that process. But she would redo their hair, whether it be make a wig or find a wig, or and she sewed. So she would make an outfit for every single doll. And as you walk through her living room, they would all be displayed. She had the Queen and Prince Philip. She had Lady Diana and Charles in their wedding clothes. She had Andrew and Harry as babies in their christening outfits. She made replica outfits. She had Elvis. She had who else? Oh my gosh. I don't remember right off. Marilyn Monroe. So many different ones. But she had them, and she had them all displayed around her house. And they were her creations. She also made these dolls that you would flip. So you perhaps had Little Red Riding Hood. You flip the dress over, and on the other side, it was the big bad wolf dressed up like Granny. It was amazing. And I actually have been gifted one of those dolls that my great aunt, she gave to my great aunt. So I have that in my collection now, and it's Cinderella. So on one side it's Cinderella with her dirty dress on and raggedy dress and an old cap on her head. And she's got dirt on her arms and on her face because she's cleaning. And then you flip over the dress, and she's in her beautiful ball gown with her hair all up and earrings in. It's amazing. Like, I mean, she was really creative. So she definitely had her collection of dolls too. But there's a much longer answer to that than what I had written down. Number 8, which I didn't write down. I skipped a number. Number 8 is, why do you have a YouTube channel? I created this channel first, because while I was waiting for my first reborn, I was, of course, looking at the reborn channels and saw people doing box openings. So, well, I had to have a channel in order to do a box opening when I received my first reborn. And so in between the time of I guess it was about 6 weeks or 8 weeks from the time that I ordered to receiving the reborn, I created my nursery, decorated it and everything, had it all ready, waiting for him to arrive. So I had to have a channel. And of course, then I started getting into following some tags and taking part in some giveaways and all that stuff. So you needed to have a channel for that. So that's why I got into it. And I guess part of it was that element of friendship, like discovering people all around the world and seeing into their lives and being able to share from my life and my little neck of the woods and all that. And I'm just so glad I did. I mean, I know it's not always positive in the reborn community, but you know what? It's a community, and even in our own families, we have rivals and people tick us off or say something that we don't like, or, you don't always get along with everybody, but that's everywhere. So, I've managed to stick around, and that was in 2016. So was that 16? No. That was 2015. I have my blanket gone. What did I do with my blanket? Let me see here. No, it is. I was getting mixed up with the 15th. 2016. Ethan was born October 15th, 2016. So, 16, and we're in 2020. So, that is going on 4 years of YouTube. So that's why I created my YouTube channel. Number 9, dream reborn. What is your dream reborn? Now, if I were to be totally honest, my dream reborn would be a full body silicone. That's probably going to continue being a dream. As a vinyl reborn, dream reborn right now, I mean, it changes, right? Because as new sculpts come out and everything like that, you sometimes, if you don't get your kit right away, then sometimes you might see something else that would spark. And not in the same way, it just might have a different feature that really speaks to you. So, but right now I would say dream reborn would be, I have 2. Either a Bonnie brace or Liam. And mostly because there are kind of portrait style reborns that I would like to do. Number 10. What's the latest? Wait, now I'll read it off here. What is the latest compliment you got on your video and who gave it? So I went back to the most recent video I have, and the very last comment that I know of that was made before I started this video. And that was Nana's Nursery and Reborns. And it's a lot longer than what I wrote down. But her first few words were, "Avatar baby looks so very cute. Aw, look at Rosie. I totally envisioned it fitting her perfectly. It's a koala bear, my favorite since I was a little girl. And there's more to that comment, but that was me changing Rosie into the outfit that she actually sent me in my mail that I got last week. So that is the 10 question tag. So hey, if you want to do it, I hope you do. And let me know if you are following. So in your title, you could put, tag from Dolly Day's nursery. Because it originated with Life with Krystle, but it's 2 years ago now. So we don't know if that one is still running, but I'm putting it out there now. And yeah, so please follow along. And if you're new to this video, to this channel, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell. Make sure it's a solid gray so that you won't miss any of my videos that I upload. You won't miss being notified of my videos. And thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye.